Welcome to Performance TV and coverage of the PRI show from Indianapolis, Indiana. For the next half hour, Tommy and Kathy will be bringing you the latest developments from the world of racing. Today's episode features Howard's cams, Aero race wheels, Liberty Performance, and more. We're also asking why it's important to attend PRI and some John Force. So stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us this week on Performance TV, where it's PRI from Indianapolis, Indiana. High performance parts galore. And what do you say? We hop on the floor and find out what's new.
Well, if you've been involved in the world of performance at all, you've heard the name Howard's Cams. I know I certainly have. I'm with Steve, the owner of Howard's Cams. How do you come about? How long have you been doing this?
Well, Howard's Cams have been in business since 1952, making racing camshafts and valve train components for the industry, and we're happy at what we're doing. We have some new offerings, and it's exciting to be at the PRI show here. On our camshaft line, we're lucky to have Landis 3L custom CNC grinders that do a super accurate job on the grinds, and we have an add-cold checking system, which is a state-of-the-art system that tells us that whatever we designed is actually on the intake and exhaust lobes, and it's a very expensive but very needed portion of our business.
Now, who all do you make camshafts for? What kind of vehicles?
Well, we make camshafts obviously for street and strip, oval track, drag racing, tractor pulling, marine, pretty much the full gamut, especially American V8s. We make camshafts actually for anything from a go-kart to this Goodwin competition monster motor here, which is an entirely custom camshaft, and we take a piece of billet steel and machine it to whatever our engineers and the customer wants for its specifications, and in this case it has larger 55 millimeter and sometimes 70 millimeter camshaft journals. It's just a custom one-off, so we can do anything from that to production.
Now, everybody has something new at PRI. What does Howard Cams have that new at PRI this year?
Well, since it is a dealer show, we introduced our new Rattler line, which is a flat tappet and hydraulic roller concept for the street and strip people that has that throaty sound that they love, but it has the advantage of having the latest lobe designs to make more horsepower, more torque, and it's easier on the valve train. So there's a lot of people that are interested in that and made us pretty happy.
Well, Howard's Cams, they make everything from camshafts, not only camshafts, crankshafts, lifters, pistons, everything. If you're looking for more performance, check them out, Howard Cams.
PRI show not only brings out all the big manufacturer names and companies, but also a lot of racers. And you know what? We run into all kinds of famous faces all throughout the floor, and we stopped and asked some of them, what do you think of PRI?
Especially, growing up in Indiana, every year when the season was over, this is what you looked forward to next. So it's a great show. It's great way to see what new products are coming out for next year. And for me at this stage of my life too, I get to come see a bunch of friends that I don't get to see very often too at this show. So it's great to see what new products and how the sport's evolving. And at the same time get to see a lot of your buddies and hang out for a couple of days.
I love PRI. We started PRI right there in Laguna Beach. I was right there with them. And when Steve Lewis hired me to come in and PR, which we love doing, I got a lot of companies to join the very first year, and I've watched it grow. So this is a real great time for me. I get to see all my friends, and I get to talk racing. What else can a girl do to enjoy this much? I love it. It's really a great show. It's very educational. We can see what's going to happen for next year's racing season. It's a true racing show. We're not bombarded with so many other companies inundating our business. I think this is the best business show of the year.
Well, PRI is huge because it gives anyone and everyone in racing a platform to be together for a handful of days. And it's across all different types of racing. It doesn't have to be IndyCar. It doesn't have to be sprint cars. It doesn't have to be drag racing. It's an accumulation of all of those individuals. And I think what's really neat in our industry is there's multiple vendors and multiple teams and multiple partners that help in all different branches of those types. So it's a great place to network with pretty much anyone in racing.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more Performance TV from Indianapolis and the PRI show.
This edition of Performance TV, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology, Borla, the world's most winning exhaust, and by No Limit Engineering, quality hot rod parts and engineering.
Welcome back to Performance TV at the PRI Show. We're just rolling right along here at PRI, and you can do so looking really good with all kinds of colors and do it even more lightweight. Kelly with Aero Racing Wheels. You guys are known, first of all, for your colors.
We are. We introduced it about 5 years ago. It's been a hit across the United States, big seller.
But here recently, getting back to the basics.
Well, a lot of people started asking for flat back, which is right here, and we decided to bite the bullet and go back into the future. And since we were doing flat back, we introduced our gloss white back into the picture, and it's very nostalgic. There's a lot of people out there that love the look, and it's done well.
You know, you guys have always been known for, your dirt side wheels and everything at Aero Racing Wheels, but you're doing a lot of stuff with the asphalt too.
We're breaking into the market. There was a market there that we were missing. Our competitor had a good stronghold. We're lucky enough to have some amazing engineers in-house, and actually we do everything in-house now. And we did a whole new redesign on our asphalt wheels in 2008, and since then we've improved it every year since then. And just last year we introduced our lightweight 15 by 10 wide 5 wheel, and it's been a great seller.
It's been a great seller, and there's so many things that you can check out, whether you're into racing the dirt, into asphalt. They have a complete line available on their website.
If you're looking to build a new engine or maybe update the one in your car now, you need to get a hold of Competition Products. I'm here with Nick Reinhardt. Now, Nick, you have a little bit of everything. You have bare blocks to short blocks or anything to build a new engine.
We've got a big selection of anything from, like you said, blocks, cranks, rods, pistons, all the way up to the rings, bearings, cylinder heads, to the valve covers. So,
now, how many lines do you carry? Is there different options for somebody? Is it Ford? Is it Chevy? What do you have?
We've got a vast array, mainly domestic engines from small block, big block Chevrolet, small block Ford, big block Ford, Chrysler.
In good inventory. I mean, how long would let's say I want to buy an engine? How long do you think it'll take before it comes to my house?
Depends on what you're looking for, but we do have free freight, so anything we have in stock we can ship out. It does go out the same day.
Free freight, that's non-existent these days, right?
It's definitely a novelty, that's for sure.
Cylinder heads. What about carburetors? I mean, intake manifold, I get the engine built. Can you put that on top of it as well?
Absolutely. We've got carburetors, intake manifolds, all the way up to the ignition, air cleaners.
Right, and valve tank. You guys, if I call, then can you give me like an idea? I mean, if I'm looking to up my engine, can your guys help me out? If I have a few questions, what's going to make my engine perform better, your guys can surely help me out.
Absolutely. We've got a great tech line. All the guys that we have on our tech line do race. We have a lot of experience, so we absolutely can help you.
Right, if you got all this products in stock, it's free freight on it. I can build me a new engine and be ready to go for next year's season. Want to do a little bit off season? You have all this stuff in stock and ship it to me and build my new engine this winter.
That's right, you got it.
If you're ready to build your new engine this winter, get a hold of Competition Products. Check them out. They got everything in stock to make your car fast for next year.
Let's hear from some more racers with their thoughts on PRI.
I just love coming here, seeing the people, being a part of the sport, trying to keep your fingers on top of everything that's going on. This sport progresses so quickly; it's easy to fall behind. And so you come here and you look at all the new parts, which is flashy, great to see. But the relationships, that's what PRI is all about. Keeping the relationships going and letting everybody know where you're at and where you're going.
To everything. You socialize a bunch. You check out the new products. You talk with different companies that you're doing business with, or you hope to do business with, or something like that. It's just everybody in our industry gets together here.
Well, at the end of the day, I think we're all trying to be successful in life, and our passion happens to be racing. So when you come to this show, it's your job to gather the data so you can go make a decision on how to do something. So whether you're trying to figure out where a racetrack is or trying to be John Force, I'm not John Force, but I'm going to be successful, and you do that based upon data, and you learn that data at the show, and it's your job to be resourceful with that data and move forward.
Welcome back to the PRI show on Performance TV.
Whether you're into drag racing, circle track racing, you're building a street rod, thinking about changing around maybe some of the top end or build a new short block, Liberty Engine Components. Joe, you guys have everything that we could possibly need and a lot of your own stuff.
Yeah, we carry all the major names in engine parts. We developed a new line. It's all our own, LPC, Liberty Performance Components. And it has everything from valve train to cylinder head, crankshaft, connecting rod, anything you would need to build a complete engine.
Now, you guys have all of this stuff. I mean, the catalog is huge. Can we also check this stuff out online? I mean, because there's so many different ways you can go with engines.
Yes, you can check it out online at www.libertyengineparts.com.
What would you say right now with your Liberty Performance Components would be like your special crank that you have? Because I see a lot of cranks here in the booth.
Yeah, our crank line is very extensive. We've got all the popular strokes, 4340 steel on all of them. It's a quality piece, so we're constantly scrutinizing it, making it a better part.
Now, you guys started off with doing your valve train stuff. That's where the Liberty Performance Components got into their own line.
Correct. We started off on our own private label with the valve train components. They started off with valves, retainers, springs, keepers, things like that, small parts, and that really took off for us. So then we decided to expand into different areas such as crankshaft, connecting rods, cylinder head, and the list goes on. I mean, we have everything, like I said, we have everything in LPC to complete a whole engine.
And say somebody is going to their engine builder and they're just trying to put a set of heads together or whatever. You can either just sell them a set of springs if they need that, or the whole top end kit.
Right. We just developed, actually new for the new catalog, a complete top end kit. If you've got a short block, just no cam, no timing, just pistons, rods, block, crank, you can add everything to this from manifold, cam, timing, everything, heads, everything on it, and it's a proven package.
Well, you can check out all the different things they have to offer. Just check them out online.
Today's day and age, if you're going to paint your race car, that's old news. It's all about vinyl graphics and Premier Graphics. Jack, you cover a little bit of everything. Tell us about what Premier Graphics does.
We make pretty things out of ugly race cars, I guess you could say at this point.
Yeah, you do everything from the transporter to the race car. I mean, you can do toolboxes. It's endless ideas of what you can wrap in the graphics these days.
Yeah, if it'll stand still long enough, we'll wrap it.
And Premier, they pride themselves on turnaround time.
Very fast times. If you need it done tomorrow, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, everybody wants it done yesterday, but your average turnaround time. What's an average lead time to have? Let's say wrap a semi.
Semi's usually 2 or 3 days.
That's pretty quick. I mean, I've seen them do it. Now, race cars varies on size, what kind of race car, or you can actually do part paint, part graphics. What's all the limits?
Correct. It's typically limited to your budget. We design and produce to your budget. If you want to do half a car, that's fine. We can do that. As far as speed-wise, we can wrap a whole Indy car in a day and a half. We can wrap a cargo van in a day.
Now, we don't have to come to you with a drawing or whatever. You can come up with everything. You guys put it on the computer, print it out for us, see what it looks like, and then do the wrap?
Yes. A to Z, we can design it to your car so you can see the different colors on it, see how yellow works with it, how red works with it, that kind of stuff, how your logo works, whether it be bigger or smaller, the phone numbers, etc.
Right, you got an old in-house art department. If I come to you and say, hey, I want a red race car, Can you wrap it for me?
We can. We've made red Mustangs into bright green ones before, yeah.
I mean, if you want to pretty up your car, make it look good, PremierGraphicsInc.com. Check them out.
Let's hear from some more racers with their thoughts on PRI.
I come here because it's everything in the world for the racer. But the main reason I'm here this year is we got a brand new sponsor, a Jet Tool company. It's a company I've used for a long time. They've decided to sponsor our race team, and so my son Steven's going to be racing in the brand new startup Cars Series. It's called the Cars Series, a 10-race series. And we got the car back in the Jet booth right now. Stop by and look at it. Okay. Looks badass. So we're pretty pumped up about it. But I love PRI, man. Just saw my buddy Force over there a little while ago, hung out with him. All the different suppliers that you need to go fast are here. And that's the reason I'm here.
Absolutely. You can't, when you look at the racetrack, our motorcycle goes almost 200 miles an hour in 6 seconds, okay? John Force goes 300 miles an hour, and the IndyCar guys do what they do. We all do something that's performance-oriented, but it only lasts this amount of time. The business part of our society that we live in, that we try to make money in, you're stealing from your own company if you're not part of this show, because you just walk around and you see something. I didn't even know these people there's 1,300 racetracks. It's like it screams, hey, America, there's a lot of industry going on here and there's money to be made.
Coming to PRI is an experience in itself with all the businesses. Everyone in motorsports is here. Drivers are here, manufacturers are here. Really, if you're into racing, you need to be here.
Once you've gotten to a certain level in racing, those individuals see the value of this type of a show, so they support it and they appreciate that, so they have attendance to it. But as a young driver, when I was in sprint car racing and midget racing, we would come here to this show to be able to source out, our next year, find vendors who were either going to support us or who had been supporting us, and really put a face to a name. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about that communication one-on-one that's so important to success.
I'm over here with my friend Dave and all of his employees that we work together. He helps me win championships and I help him sell product. And it's just a great product that you see in the booth. So take a minute, get the brochures. Don't just come over to listen to me talk, I just talk. But learn about what we do to make your hot rod better. At the end of the day, if you're gonna win championships, and we've won 18, Robert Height's a champion, he's here with Auto Club working the show. I've won championships, Tony Petragon drove for me, Gary Densham drove for me, and at the end of the day, it's not just about the money, it's about what works. And I was just doing a press conference with Champion, Spark Plugs, and to me, they're the best in the business. And that's why I'm over there working, keeping my job.
We'll have more from PRI here on Performance TV coming up.
This edition of Performance TV, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by Speedway Motors, America's oldest speed shop, Evapo-Rust, super safe rust remover, and by Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener.
Welcome back to Performance TV at the PRI show. Spent a lot of time and a lot of money building your race engines, and the last thing you want to have happen is purchasing your race fuel and not really knowing what you're getting. And Mr. Muldowney, you've had that happen to you.
I have. About 10 years ago, I was racing at a track that shall remain nameless and got a load of racing fuel that I thought was 110 octane, smelled like it, looked like it. Turned out I'd been sitting a while, and I ended up holding some pistons. Same thing happened again about 18 months later. And sort of at a point of frustration said, I've got to find a way to figure out what's going in my gas tank is actually the octane I need. And over the next 10 years, we spent working with different labs and working with doing research and working with various companies to come up with the product that we're here talking about today, which is race gas, race fuel concentrate.
This is something that drag racing, all kinds of racing, and you've had a lot of folks go out and test this product for you and be able to prove it. This just isn't on paper.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We did the industry tests that you have to do for racing fuel, the ASTM-D tests, and we did that. And then we went out and initially hired some companies to test our product head-to-head against distilled racing fuel. And then from there, it sort of snowballed, and people send us their dyno sheets. So if you go to our website, we're routinely adding new dyno sheets, and we've tested in everything from a turbocharged Acura NSX to a 550 Pontiac all-aluminum big block running 13.5 to 1 compression, to a 350 with twin superchargers. I mean, you named it, we've been through it.
What's the shelf life on your product?
The can unopened will last indefinitely. Once you open it, we try to get people to use it up in about 60 days would be good.
So how much can we make with a can?
It really depends on what octane you're blending to. So for example, in my car, I have a 944 turbo race car that I road race. And for my application, I use 93 octane and 1 can of race fuel to make 100 octane.
There you go. You can find out all about it and what it can do for your race car and your ride. Just go to their website at race-gas.com. Our visit to PRI wouldn't be complete without checking in on one of racing's most outrageous characters, John Force.
Different than NASCAR, IndyCar, where you got to be out there for 3 or 4 hours. Those guys train, they stay in shape. I work out in the gym every other day just to keep up with the kids. But the race car and drag racing, we're talking about 4, 5, 6 seconds of actually, when you fire that motor, of making a run, the burnout, backing up, staging, making the run. The race car really does the running. The reason I got in into drag racing. When I was a kid, I had polio as a kid, my right leg a little bit shorter, a little bit, and I wanted to play football, and I played it in high school. I went into college, and I realized there's no future. I'm never going to make it, you know what I mean? And my uncle said, you've raced cars since 9th grade when you first had a driver's license, 10th grade. Why don't you get a race car, let it do the running for you? So if I get tired during a long day, autographs go from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. Go take a rest, take a break, and get the energy. I love NHRA drag racing. It's all I know. I've been doing it since like I said, since I was 14 and a half when I first got my permit to drive my mom to work, and then I go right down to the racetrack illegally. But we don't do that anymore, never. But no, it's just the fans, you know, to be out here with them, it's just unbelievable. Oh, I'm not quitting. I'm gonna go till I drop. See, you understand, I grew up in a little trailer court with 5 brothers and sisters. I lived in a car practically because you don't go home to a little trailer house. It don't have a big living room. You know what I mean? I slept on a couch my whole life. Now I'm in the world's biggest trailer court. You know what I mean? In my Featherlights, I was just pitching them another pitch for Featherlight. But I'm in the world's biggest trailer court with all my friends and all the fans. That's where I want to be. I ain't gonna be on a rocking chair on my porch. When I go down, it's gonna be at a drag strip. That way I can get some TV and sell some t-shirts. Dave, you're so humble for a billionaire. Billionaire, didn't anybody get that? Ain't none of my working today. Not one joke has anybody laughed. I think it's a coffee. Somebody slipped me decaf.
And that's all we have for this week's edition of Performance TV. We'll see you next time around.